Welcome to 3-2-1 Screw, Space Coast Real Elite Wrestling. We got Fabulous B.
Big Shot Joe.
Captain Bill.
Thanks for joining us, guys. This is our second show. We're going to have some fun this time. First of all, I just wanted to touch bases. We just all, as wrestling fans, lost a legend today with Harley Race being somebody that pretty much every superstar was ever able to look up to, even us as fans.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Oh, yeah. I can remember watching him and Flair have some hellacious matches back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
He was a legit tough guy in wrestling.
Yes, he was. And he's
a lot
definitely...
of people said it.
Yeah, he's going to be missed for sure, man.
Without a doubt.
Yep. Our
Big
condolences to the entire family, and the whole wrestling world mourns his loss for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so without further ado, we're going to start breaking into we want to go ahead and give a couple spots to some local businesses. Bill?
Yeah, I do actually. Just want to give a little plug to Sheer Attraction Hair Studios in Merritt Island, 2460 North Courtney Parkway, Suite 105. Jen is the owner. It's a new business. She's been doing hair a long time. Worked for Hair Cuttery for many, many years. Finally decided to do her own thing, opened up her own shop. And I really wish her the best. It's by appointment only. They're open Tuesday through Saturdays. And right now until August 15th, she's offering 10% off all haircut and color services for students and teachers. So go check that out. That's Sheer Attraction Hair Studio in Merritt Island.
Yeah, it's back to school soon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
So, I got one. 10 Speed Drive Bicycle Center. My father-in-law owns the business. It's probably the best place you can go in Titusville to get your bicycle worked on. And he has the best prices on Treks. So go check it out. That's going to be at 3428 South Hopkins Avenue, Titusville, Florida.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to my buddy Chris Milner at A&B Graphics there in Cocoa. It's at 843 North Cocoa Boulevard, Cocoa, Florida. He's actually been, very accommodating. He's, going to be helping us out with. We're going to have a banner that's going to be behind us next week.
Awesome.
Right.
And I trust him for all of my printing needs. So you guys should check him out.
Check him out.
And in case y'all notice, we have the Cruiserweight title sitting here, and obviously, I won that. It was a hell of a match.
How did you
Shooting
win that?
Star Press.
Yes,
Shooting Star Press.
Yes,
No
that's-
shit.
I pulled
Wait.
it off.
Who'd you win it off of?
Buddy Murphy?
No, he was 12, but he was a big 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But he was tough. He was tough.
You did a Shooting Star Press.
Yeah.
It sounds like a squash match to me.
Onto
Yeah.
a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
to win the
but,
Cruiserweight
like you
Championship.
said, he was big for his age.
Hey, big ups, man. You're a champion. Right on.
I don't know how legit that is, man. Winning that off a 12-year-old. I don't think that was sanctioned.
No, he had
24/7 rules, brother. 24/7 championship.
That's only on the 24/7
he had stumble and everything.
match.
That's it,
I think
man.
the more impressive thing is the fact that I pulled off the Shooting Star Press.
I for one.
Now, I'm sure there's film of it somewhere. I will look into that.
Yes. Moving on.
Yes. Moving on for sure. So, last week we had some user interaction, and we wanted to, somebody asked us a question about, what our favorite theme was. And, it got us thinking and toiling over throughout the week. And,
Yeah, man.
we decided, you know what? We're going to go ahead and put together our five-time
WCW
champions. So we went ahead and we put together our top 5 themes. So usually the kind of person I am, I'm kind of creepy anyways. I listen to the creepy music, but
well, the first step is admitting it, Brad.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
and we're here for you.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Right on.
And I'm also kind of attracted to short guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Moving on. So.
No, but anyways, so.
Again, man, we learn a lot about Brad during these podcasts, man.
Anyways, so Live in Fear from Bray Wyatt, that's one of his first themes. It was the really dark, dismal, when everybody had the fireflies.
Yeah, all the
and
lights
stuff.
out, everyone's got their cell phones
The
going,
buzzers.
he's got the lantern walking slowly to the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always dug that one too.
And then,
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Very unique.
oh, yeah. And then Mankind's music, whenever he was in the boiler room.
Yeah, man, hitting his head on the,
yeah.
the
back
wall.
back in the day, whenever
Before the Have a Nice Day Mankind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever
The
they
brown, the brown out costume and the fake, yeah.
Yeah, his music back then was pretty awesome, and because they'd show the boiler room, and it was just like you hear that music in the background, and yeah, it was awesome.
What is good for all mankind? I can't do it as good as McFoley, but I tried.
All right, so and then the corporate ministry. The corporate ministry, I thought that was pretty awesome because they incorporated the Undertaker's theme with the corporation, with the no chance, and they kind of like found out that the Undertaker was answering to Vince McMahon the whole entire time. So
He was the higher power.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then I have to give a tip of the hat to my guy, new guy, Aleister Black, Root of All Evil.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think his theme has the intent of becoming like the next Undertaker. I think,
Yeah, I mean it's got that kind of theme to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Aleister Black's theme's pretty cool. I like it.
I honestly think that he could be that he can step into that role with Undertaker, whenever he decides to leave, if that ever happens.
Possibility.
And then, of course, Brotherhood from the Bludgeon Brothers.
That one's pretty cool.
They were
I like that one.
It was a short-lived
Tag
thing,
team.
but I mean, it was fun, man. I loved their whole thing.
I love how they came out with the big old I don't know if they're sledgehammers or they're like barbarian sledgehammers or whatever the hell they are,
Mallets.
Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat type of stuff, But so Big Shot Joe's top 5 picks. So my first one would be Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme because when I was a kid, all you had to do was hear that glass shatter in the beginning, and you knew, oh snap, Stone Cold's gonna mess somebody up. He's gonna come out, gonna raise some hell, win the match, drink some beers, and walk back drunk.
Oh yeah.
But it was a great theme. Also, I want to bring up this one would be number 2, but it kind of has multiple. So like the Undertaker's theme that he uses now, the Ministry, or not the Ministry, but the theme he uses now. And then plus, when he was the American Badass, he was using Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, which I thought was awesome, coming out on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then, you have the Ministry of Darkness before it was the corporate ministry, where he just, it had that rock guitar string or strum through it. And it was cool. And then, and of course, the Masters D-Generation X theme, Are You Ready? That was always one of my favorite. I got in trouble many, many times in elementary school for mocking DX. So I think every kid did in my era. Of course, Triple H's Time to Play the Game by Motorhead. I dig me some Motorhead.
Oh,
man.
yeah, absolutely.
They're one of my favorite bands. So when I saw Triple H had that theme, it's cool. And he still uses it. He uses the King of Kings theme when he comes out as corporate Triple H, but then when it's time for him to go to the ring and compete once in a blue moon, he uses Time to Play the Game.
Right.
So and one new guy. I decided to pick one new guy, so some of our viewers who are not familiar with some of the guys we named, I dig this guy's theme song, Ricochet. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty cool.
It's definitely a cool sound.
I could dig that, man. It's good stuff. Bill.
Well, before I give mine, I'm going to ask each of you, if you were a wrestler, what would your theme be? What would you use?
Easily, man. White Zombie, Black Sunshine.
Yeah.
You know that just the bass riff and just how gritty it was at the very beginning. You know, I would definitely come out to something like that.
Joe?
Right on me. Well, I have one of. I could use either one. Paper Cut by Linkin Park on their very first album, Hybrid Theory. I always loved that song. The way it started out, it just it sounded like a WWE Superstars song if a band was going to do it. And also number 2 came out later on. Atreyu did a song called Becoming the Bull, which I love, and it's probably played out by now, but it's a fantastic song, and I would have used that for the Big Shot Joe character. Bill?
Well, in no particular order, my 5 of my favorites would be whatever it was Chris Benoit's theory. Theory.
It's one.
Yep. No, it was a long day. Some people think it's kind of goofy, but I've always dug Zack Ryder's Radio. It's just so catchy. Sing along, yeah. Randy Orton voices. That's great.
Rev Theory's the band that does that.
Yeah, just the lyrics to it. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. So fitting for Randy Orton too,
If you do have voices in your head though, and they counsel you,
some old school with the NWO Wolfpack.
I really hope
Red and Black. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. Yeah, that one was always cool. And Goldberg's WCW Invasion. I always thought it was so cool. It was just that sound. It had just an ominous. It's like when that kicked up, you just knew something bad was coming.
Well, I felt bad for a locker room door,
and
because he headbutted the crap out of it every time.
If I was a wrestler, my theme. There's so many choices that come to mind that could work. Mötley Crüe, Wildside, Metallica, Seek and Destroy. But I think Megadeth Crush 'Em is what I would go with. And I had a couple honorable mentions that I had that I also kind of liked that I had to really think about, but they didn't quite make it top 5. Is the APA theme, Big Papa Pump in WCW, Holla If You Hear Me, and the siren would kick up. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Batista, Walk Alone, and Shinsuke Nakamura, his Rising Sun. I just thought that was such a unique, cool sound entrance with the violin and everything. I remember when he showed up on, I think it was SmackDown that first time when the Miz was leaving the ring and he come up and I always thought it was so cool, man. But,
man.
Yeah, I had a couple of honorable mentions too. Did you have any honorable mentions? Or?
I do. I liked Booker T's, even in WCW. Just that little...
Which was originally Harlem Heat, not just Booker T.
Was Harlem Heat, but I reference it just to Booker T because I wasn't a big WCW fan until later on.
Yeah, well, you're also a lot younger.
Yeah.
A lot younger. So, Goldberg was one of my honorable mentions, so Bill hit that. NWO, White and Black. That one. I love that song. And CM Punk's by
Jimi
Living
Hendrix,
Color.
Voodoo Child.
Yeah. Voodoo Child was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple honorable mentions too, but you guys both touched on one of them was NWO for both factions.
Yeah.
But Gangrel, The Brood.
Yeah, that one was cool.
That was sick. That was good.
I loved even the Edge and Christian Brood. I loved the Hardy Boys Brood.
Yeah.
I always dug how he came
awesome.
up. He came up out of the ground with the fire around him.
With the goblet of
blood.
blood.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah. And then there was Test. This is a test. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Speaking of themes and music, Brad, I believe you had a kind of cool little interview in regards to our intro theme music across the nation.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was for a long time. It was the Raw theme song, 2000 to 2006 for the longest time. But I reached out and I actually got in touch with the lead guitarist of the band that wrote that song. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play that interview for all of our listeners right now.
Let's do
Right
that.
on. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Across the Nation was one of the most iconic songs during the whole Ruthless Aggression era.
That's awesome. How funny to think that was just my singer and I in Santa Monica, which I'm driving past right now as we talk, just working on Union Underground songs. And I remember coming in with that riff and that piece of music, and then we were having lunch one day, and he said, "I put some vocals on that riff. Come listen." And it had that "move to the music," and I was like, I think that sounds like a good song. And then, of course, everybody got involved and also thought it was also.
Given the success of the song Across the Nation, would you ever consider writing another song for the WWE?
Absolutely. I have a band called Heaven Below that I do when I'm not with Lita, and I think we have some songs that would easily serve the WWE, and I'd be willing to write new ones. At this point.
Yeah, man. Heaven Below. If any of our listeners out there haven't heard you guys, you got to really go and check them out. And speaking of Lita Ford, I mean, you guys are touring together. How is that experience?
It's awesome. It's like a wonderful big sister. She's totally a professional and she's fun, and she gives me a long leash. If anyone's ever seen us play lately, she has me sing a lot too. It's not just a guitar gig, and that makes it fun for me. I guess I've always been a wannabe singer. I used to sing on the Union Underground demos and stuff, and of course I did all the backing vocals and things like that. So my inner singer has been released, and that's what I do with Heaven Below. And Lita lets me sing a lot with her also. So it's a great gig, and I like holding her up, and she loves holding me up. So it's definitely love there.
I guess my last question would be are there any plans of Union Underground getting back together, or maybe touring or a new album?
Honestly, not. There's a lot of negativity that ended the band between me and the singer, and those fences have not been mended, and I don't see them being mended. It got legal, it got ugly, and worst of all, it got cliche. It looked like Behind the Music gone bad. It looked like a Saturday Night Live parody of Behind the Music. And that part bothers me a lot. But I'm still tight with John Moyer, who's now in Disturbed. Right. And once in a while, I try and talk to our drummer. But honestly, once I moved out here to California and Union Underground was done for me, I just said, you know what? It's kind of like a marriage. Do you really want to go back out with your ex-girlfriend or your ex-wife? Really? When there's other girls right there that you're more fond of? I love looking back. Don't get me wrong. I love posting about old times and the anniversary of Education and Rebellion or this thing. I love all that. Right. I'll never act like that didn't happen. But man, I got to move forward. It would feel like going backwards if I did that.
Yeah, man. You know, I always had an old saying that life is like a book. You really don't want to go back and read an old chapter.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm a different person than I was back then. I feel like I can offer more creatively to myself. You know, never mind other people. I've expanded since then. But yeah, I put on Union Underground sometimes and crank it up and go, oh man, I remember recording that little part or that song right there.
Right on, brother. Well, that pretty much does it for all my questions. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you kindly for being part of the show, Patrick, and thanks for shedding some light on your iconic song, man.
Sounds kick-ass, brother. You have a good rest of your weekend.
And there you have it, folks. Our theme song and an iconic song during the Ruthless Aggression era, written by Union Underground, and that man right there, Patrick Kennison. Thank you very much for being on the show, brother, and make sure to check out his band, Heaven Below, and find him on tour with Lita Ford.
And we're back. So first off, we want to apologize for those technical difficulties. I have no idea why it happened. None whatsoever.
I'm not sure.
Do you, Brad?
I have no idea.
I don't know. And moving on. So
However, we will post the
full interview,
the interview in its entirety
as another video
on our YouTube channel.
On the YouTube channel. I just want to throw a shout out to my little buddy Philip watching. Thanks for your support, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yep, and I want to do the same. Chris Baker, what's up? Glad you're watching. Josh Jenkins, my nephew. Hey. Hello, Dylan. Tim Strahan. There's your shout out, brother.
And I want to thank Ashley. I want to thank Carrie Ann. You know, all my friends, you know, watching right now. Awesome.
Basically,
right on.
All of you that are watching.
C-Tech, thanks for watching.
Commenting.
Aaron. So yeah, I have no idea what caused those problems.
It was
none whatsoever.
It was one button that I forgot to click, guys. Sorry. Anyways, the summation of that interview is the guy that we were talking to, Patrick Kennison, he was the guitarist for the Union Underground. Well, Union Underground was approached by pro wrestler Test to write his theme music.
And that was cool that he unveiled that, because I had no clue that's how they got into the WWE to use their song.
Me either. So they were, you know, Matt Pinfield from MTV. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh yeah.
He actually approached the band and asked them to write it. So they were toying around with it. They got halfway through with the song for Test. And then all of a sudden, you know, the higher ups got word of the song, and they heard an unfinished product, and they said, no, we want that for Raw. And that's where it all became, you know, it went from being a song for Test, which, if you listen to the song in its entirety, actually has chanting Test towards the end of the song.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand that. When I was listening to it before I knew we were going to do all this,
right? I
was listening to it, and I'm hearing Test, and I'm like, why is this in here? I didn't even think about it being for the wrestler Andrew Martin Test, you know, which is pretty cool. That's a cool little backstory for that, you know.
Right.
So I am Ashley said something.
Yeah, I guess we're lagging with
our lips.
Audio.
Our lips are off.
Just think of us as being an old kung fu movie from the 80s.
For this. you will pay dearly.
We don't even need to do that, man. It's doing it for us.
Yeah, it is. That's true. It's doing it for us.
It's only our second show. These first few shows are going to be all about getting the bugs worked out till
That's it.
we have a good.
A few flare chops.
Real quick, we were giving shout outs, and I just wanted to say once again, shout out to my sister Tange. As you can see,
shirts.
Brad now has
Can you see this?
himself
Yes.
a
No, Mike's code.
Space Coast Real Elite Wrestling shirt with the logo.
Oh, yes.
And me and Joey are sporting new ones.
I mean, he kind of had to. It's the
True.
second show.
Space
Right.
Coast Real Elite Wrestling. And Joey,
I got
he's got the white with the red letters again.
So it's kind of like
Thank you very much.
Bill's,
Appreciate it.
Bill's the red wolf pack. I'm the regular NWO,
Yeah.
white and black.
And
And I'm LWO.
There you go. Latin World Order. Yeah. BWO, man. I'll get
Brad's representing the Irish.
Where's Hornswoggle?
Yes.
Where's little shillelagh?
He's wearing Fit Finley Hornswoggle Sheamus.
My name is Finley, and I love to fight.
All right.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So, what else we got there,
want
sir?
to. I want to talk about a little bit about Raw.
Yeah. Some
Um,
highlights, right.
Definitely wasn't. You can see they're getting a little away from the old PG. That was pretty intense.
Yeah,
That whole Brock Lesnar attack on Rollins was brutal.
That really was.
That actually looks
that was
like
pretty
legit
brutal.
painful. When he F5'd him on top of the flipped over gurney, that metal. I mean, the chairs in the ring was one thing, but that gurney, that's solid. That's a solid piece there. It was brutal looking, and then that whole brawl at the end involving Roman Reigns and the Usos and Cedric Alexander against the OC and Drew McIntyre and who else was involved in that one?
The Usos.
It was Drew McIntyre.
Cedric Alexander.
Was Elias in that?
No, it wasn't Elias. There was a Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
That's a bad
But that
dude,
was,
man.
I mean, that was a brawl. They were brawling backstage. They took it out to the ring. It was, I admit, it was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed it.
I mean, for one, if we're going to talk about Raw, I enjoyed the gauntlet match that they had for the United States Championship #1 contender for SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. Congrats to Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet, that's my guy. Rey Mysterio did awesome. They had him, he went through 3 competitors. He did Cesaro. He did, who was the other guys?
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. That was like a squash match, though. That went pretty
Right.
quick.
Right.
And then there was one more. Oh, I think he lost to the
He
third
lost
guy.
to Andrade.
Andrade, and then Andrade lost to Ricochet. So, by them doing that with Ricochet, I think they're really, gonna give him the strap. Why put him in a rematch?
Well, that's one
right
thing I
away?
heard, that Heyman is really
Into Ricochet.
He's big on Ricochet.
Yep.
He's one of the guys that he wants to push.
And he's unique. I mean,
Yeah.
the theme song's amazing. Again, we're going to talk about that, but it is amazing. So go
That's
check
only
it out.
because- That's only because you picked that scene.
It
That
is.
song.
It's
Yeah.
because I did.
Yeah.
But I do like what they're doing with Ricochet. I really feel bad for Maria's husband, Mike
Kanellis.
Kanellis.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the first time I've seen somebody forced to lay down and let his wife pin him for a championship. 24/7 championship.
24/7 championship.
And now she's running around. You can't hit a pregnant woman, and
Yeah.
I'm a champion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but what if another pregnant woman fought her? Would it be fair?
Maurice.
Would it?
Maurice.
Yeah, she is pregnant.
And
Let's
you-
make it happen.
Yeah.
Maurice versus Maria. Prego versus Prego. Winner take all. SummerSlam.
Would they take the baby too?
Winner gets both babies.
Yeah. There you go. So the Miz will be adopting, possibly.
He'll be
Possibly.
3 kids, and Mike
That's it.
Kanellis will not be the daddy.
Oh boy!
Now-
Yo, did you hear the word she used on Raw?
Yeah,
too?
I know.
I mean, it's not like it's bad word. I'm gonna say it. I mean, little kids, close your ears. But she said vagina on Raw. I've never heard vagina on Raw. Vagina is a word that would never come on Monday Night Raw. I'd figure they'd use something else. She called him a vagina.
Vagina and cum. No.
No, they use that one
we-
too. Whoa,
No,
man!
I'm talking about you, sir.
Oh no, just vagina. That's a word that I've never, and it was on Raw. I couldn't believe it. That was a first for me to hear that on pro wrestling.
Oh,
The
man.
word vagina. And I'm done saying that word now.
Okay.
Thank you, because you're making me incredibly uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Sorry about that, man.
Some people's kids.
Hey, you just can't get good kids these days, man.
Let's see.
Who we got over here? Cooper's in the house. Mark Cooper. Coop.
No, I don't.
What'd he say?
I'm from the main streets of Sydney.
What the hell are you speaking?
Mark knows what I'm talking about. Little inside joke.
Only Mark knows.
They're saying more technical difficulties.
With what?
Let's see. All right. Somebody says laugh snacks and WoW entered the group at the right time.
Yeah, you did, Brandon. You entered in at a great time.
And don't be a Joey.
Don't be a Joey.
Right on, Mark.
That's gotta be Coop.
That is
Don't
Coop.
be a Joey.
That is Coop.
That is a little saying we have around my place.
Let me tell you something.
You do something, we just look at each other like, don't be a Joey.
That's right. That's right.
So going
It's
back
done
to
to
the whole Raw thing, what was you guys' thoughts on the Roman Reigns segment? With the who pushed the
Oh, was that on Raw or SmackDown?
that was Raw.
Oh, it was Raw.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, who's been feuding with him lately? Has it been kind of open, or has it been?
Samoa Joe, I thought. It was
So that
they
of
were
course is
setting
going
up
to be
for.
that of course is going to be prime suspect number one.
Right.
But now, if that's the case, knowing WWE, they're not going to go ahead and just push that. Maybe they got something underlying, like
Well, that's the thing. I've been,
You know what I mean?
I've been reading a lot of reports and stuff like that, and they're saying that there's supposed to be a legend that's coming back to feud with Roman Reigns.
Goldberg.
That's what the summation is that
Really?
it's supposed to be
Yeah,
Goldberg
I
that's
was-
going to be feuding with Roman Reigns.
Now I was
Okay.
and now to add to that, if you don't mind, I did read today on SEScoops.com.
Spear versus Spear.
Right, SEScoops.com. I was reading that Goldberg is confirmed to come back for a match at SummerSlam. So hopefully his concussion is healed.
Well,
by then.
what they're planning on doing is they're planning on scrapping one of the matches between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. They're scrapping that match.
What? Why?
Because they're going to put Dolph Ziggler in a match with somebody else.
You know,
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler has. Now, on 2 different occasions, Dolph Ziggler has talked smack about Goldberg as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you think
It-
maybe they're going to
you
do
know,
Goldberg and him?
Just this last week, he made a comment. He was getting in talking about, Goldberg, being something about, being over the hill or, and, I'm wondering if maybe,
The Miz.
I don't know about, the Roman Reigns. Maybe they're going to be, because,
Yeah.
the thing is Reigns is a face and Goldberg's a face. You're going to have 2 good guys going against one another.
True. So, it could be Daniel Bryan against Roman Reigns. Because that's what Thanatos Malachi, he just said that rumored is Daniel Bryan. So,
Yeah.
that's a good possibility.
I mean,
Just
it
to me,
is a
it's like-
possibility, but
Why would Ziggler on 2 different occasions now criticize and call out Goldberg?
and I just want to say this about
Right.
that. Social media for the last few years has really been something that they've been adding to feuds with. You notice?
Oh yeah, they go back and forth with
like
the tweets.
with the whole tweeter thing. I know it's
I
called
mean-
Tweeter, but they,
I mean, in
one
fact,
will talk smack, the other one will
there's a
talk
hell of a
smack.
feud
and-
going on right now between Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Why is there a feud?
I don't know, but they've been going back and forth on, I've been hearing about
But two of them don't wrestle no more.
I know, but still, on Twitter, though, they've been arguing back and forth, talking trash, talking, to one another.
Edge has said his neck is feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Anything can happen in WWE. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Edge was to come back for another match. That would be awesome. I love the Rated R Superstar, which, by the way, was another honorable mention for my music choice.
You know what? Just,
Right.
not that we didn't really, talk about, mentioning this, but it just popped in my head when you said that. I got a question.
What's that?
When you were talking about wrestlers coming back, what old school wrestler would you love to see come back, even if it's just for one more match?
And I seriously, I want the Sting and Undertaker match to happen.
Yeah, even now still.
I
still
think people would still want to see that.
Yeah.
I wish
absolutely they would. But
just for the theatrics alone.
That's a WrestleMania.
Oh,
that's a WrestleMania
yeah,
match. Though.
Yeah, easily.
That's got to be a WrestleMania.
I wish we could have seen that 10 to 15 years ago.
Well, absolutely.
When those guys were in their prime, and don't get me wrong, they're in great shape, but they're getting up there.
Oh yeah, they are.
And Triple, and don't get me wrong, Taker can roll with the best of them at his age, and so can, before Sting retired from his neck injury, thank you, Seth Rollins. But, I think, even now at their age, people are going to, the fan out of everybody's going to come out and be like, yeah, Undertaker versus Sting.
There's a couple guys I would actually like to see come and have one more match. I think would be kind of cool. And we were just talking about one of them, Edge.
Oh,
When we get
the Rated R Superstar.
But the other one, I would love to see Booker T have one more match.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed
Booker's
Booker
in
T.
shape still,
Yeah. Who would you want to see Booker T face, though? You want to see him face a high flyer, or do you want to see him a brawler?
I think a brawler. Booker T was a brawler.
Yeah, he was.
Well, we've already seen the likes of Booker T versus Goldberg back in the day. We've seen Booker T fight pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
But, who would it be today?
Who would be entertaining to see him go against today?
In all honesty, I like the good possibility of Cesaro. I think him and Cesaro would put on a fucking fantabulous match.
Oh, with Cesaro with anybody, man.
Yeah.
Cesaro to me is one of their greatest in-ring workers of today's era.
Yeah.
Cesaro is a veteran.
Yep.
Think about it. He's been in there for quite some time now. It's not like this is his first year. He's adapted, even on the tag team scene, man, with Tyson Kidd, and then when he did the bar with Sheamus, which, when the hell's he coming back, I don't know.
He's actually...
Come back, Sheamus.
He's a referee right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's a referee right now.
For whom?
So he's doing dark shows as a referee.
Yeah,
what?
I see that.
Yep.
Get out of here.
No, serious, man. He's doing dark matches.
Here's an idea, Booker T.
What's that?
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm waiting in suspense, Bill. I'm ready.
Elias. I can see Elias out there.
Do it.
And...
Do it. Do it. You said Elias. Do it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really honestly don't. That's Miz who says that, by the way. You keep getting that wrong all the time.
Oh, it's the Miz that... Yeah. All right, do the Miz. Do the Miz.
We're just going to skip past that since...
All right, let's skip past that. And moving on.
Booker T, I can see Elias out there talk, maybe, being somewhere and him talking track, and then you hear come over to the speaker, tell me you didn't just say that.
Tell me he didn't just say that. Yeah, it used to crack me up when Goldust would frickin' creep him out when they were first tagging. Like Goldust would he'd here, Booker, do you want a piece of my hot dog? Booker's like, get that out of my face, sucker! Is that good?
I tell you what, dude, one of the Booker T whole things that just I
know what you're gonna say.
Booker T and Stone Cold in the grocery store.
Hey, Book, got milk? Thanks, Book.
Clean up on aisle 6. Or
price check on a jackass as he's leaving.
That was great.
Which is why Stone Cold Steve Austin was my top pick.
I love that
for my music picks. Just saying.
That was great.
Yep. Or when Austin's singing in a pepperoni, he's like, "When the moon hits your eye." I thought it was funny, Austin trying to sing.
Yeah.
That is just hilarious. It's like when he had the guitar and he was singing to Vince McMahon, "We are the champions, my friend," and he's all like, "Oh man, it was funny." And he's like, "Hold on." Design the blind kung fu master.
Sorry, that has nothing to do with wrestling.
No, it did, but that was
I just wanted to
awesome.
say that.
Right now, Mark Cooper is cracking up, laughing so hard right now.
Oh, that's a little Bobby Lee.
Come on,
Matt
do some
TV.
impressions.
They're doing all the impressions.
Sorry, yeah.
What?
Sorry.
What?
It was a long day. I'm not thinking right.
Is this supposed to impress
So-
me? What?
Yeah.
You sassing me, boy?
Yeah.
You sassing Stone Cold Steve
So I
Austin?
ordered me a hamburger, a hot dog, what?
A Bud Light,
Another Bud Light,
some French fries,
a slice of pizza.
a cannoli. I don't know where that came from. I don't think Stone
You're
Cold Steve
inner
Austin
Italian.
has ever went to a restaurant and said, "Yeah,
Joey,
let me get a cannoli and give me a hell yeah."
Joey, you
Hey,
need
Joey,
something.
mama.
Come on, eat some.
It's a pizza, but you're going to
Come on.
Oh man, yes, there is something wrong with all three of us. I hope you know that. So just keep that in mind.
And we're pretty sure that we're going to be banned on YouTube next week.
Probably. It was a good run, guys. I loved it.
It's,
It was the greatest miniseries of all
it
time.
was. I mean,
Holds it to my heart.
I'm surprised we made it 2 shows. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be straight. I thought, you guys be like, guys, it worked out pretty cool the first time.
I thought
but
halfway through last week's show that people were going to storm the place.
Right?
I thought so, man.
No.
No.
And again, we just want to apologize again for all the technical issues that we're having.
Yeah, we have
tonight.
no
but-
reason why.
In all seriousness, though, it is our second show. And these things are going to happen.
Yeah, man,
But
it
we
really
will
is.
get all these bugs worked out, and we will run smooth. It'll be like Eskimo snot on an ice floe.
Yep.
Just
That is
slick and smooth.
That is the weirdest analogy I've ever
Imagine
heard.
how slippery that would be, though.
That is disgusting. Imagine if you fall on ice with Eskimo snot on it. That's disgusting.
Oh, that is disgusting.
But you would be pretty smooth.
Yeah.
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 All right, so
Moving
moving
on.
on. It's going to be a catchphrase for me on a shirt. Guys, next Joey shirt. And moving on. Oh, it's damn true.
Absolutely.
All right. So, now did either of you catch SmackDown?
I caught some parts of it.
Yeah, I cut the highlights. And unfortunately, I was working Tuesday night, so I didn't get to see it. But I did see, highlights of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see Kevin Owens versus, was it Drew McIntyre, I believe?
In all
I
honesty,
think they were the first match.
Yeah.
It was him versus somebody, but again, he popped out the stunner.
Speaking of Kevin Owens, what do you guys thoughts on the big push as a face for him that they're doing?
I love it.
I do too. I just don't like the real fast change up because he went from being a face to a heel back to a face,
Right.
all in the matter of a few months, and I
Yeah.
think that's kind of
And honestly,
confusing.
Right,
honestly,
but from what I read though, that was never the plan. The only reason that when he did kind of turn heel again against Kofi was because whoever was supposed to fill that spot was injured. So they kind of needed to
threw
come up
him
with
in there.
something. So that's why they switched him back to a heel so quickly.
Right.
Because he wasn't, a face because he wasn't
Which-
supposed to be the heel. It was out of necessity that it was.
and
done.
I'm gonna be honest on the subject real quick though. I'm glad that they are pushing him as a face because it kind of reminds me of the rebellious Stone Cold Steve Austin. The
Right.
CM Punk. They're doing this. This is this era's version of it. Now I hope it works out because Kevin Owens, I think he's got a great attitude in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's not he's not a pretty boy. He's not a built old dude. He is an average big dude, and he's saying he's sticking it up to the system, which seems to always work on camera in pro wrestling, So
Right.
I hope Kevin Owens goes far with it, and who knows, maybe somebody beats Kofi. That'll be a big heel. And then faces Owens, and Owens takes the belt. I could see Owens world champion soon.
Yeah.
Not to discredit Kofi, because Kofi is doing fantastic as a WWE
How much
champion.
longer do you think his run as champ's going to be?
I
don't think it's
honestly
gonna be
am
very long.
surprised.
Will he make it past SummerSlam as champion?
I think he will.
I do
But
too.
I don't see him carrying it for very much longer.
I
after
say
that.
by Survivor Series he won't be champion. I'll give it
Yeah.
to that November.
Yeah.
Because again, Kofi he's been doing the face thing for many years, and it was. I mean, everybody saw how over he got in that Elimination Chamber match. Leading up to this past year's WrestleMania, and he became champion. After that, he became champion finally at Mania, and the crowd was crazy. So I think they're still running on that Kofi Kingston hype.
Yeah.
And now they're building up Kevin Owens, and I bet you somebody who's not liked will win the title, and then Kevin Owens will take it off that person. Who knows? Maybe to continue it, maybe Shane McMahon beats Kofi. He cheats, wins it, loses it at Mania. I don't think it'd be the greatest thing,
Right.
but the way it's looking, I wouldn't doubt it.
Steals.
Right. Well,
Eddie Guerrero?
Bring Eddie Guerrero out of retirement.
Yeah, man. I tell you, I would love that. There you go. One wrestler that if you wish you could see. Remember your question earlier? Eddie Guerrero. I wish I could see him in one more match.
Eddie
Yeah, that's what that was something me and Joey did the other night. We were talking.
Eddie
and
Guerrero.
We were talking about wrestlers that have passed.
Yeah.
That had
Yeah.
they not died.
Sorry,
and
it just
stayed
came out.
on,
I was thinking
Yeah.
about that.
where they would have been at. It
Yeah.
started with Benoit with me. It was like,
Right.
had all the Benoit stuff not happened,
Right, that was some.
where would
shit.
Benoit be right now?
Yeah.
Because they were really. I mean, he was.
Mustache.
It's working great now.
Yeah.
What's
So,
that?
they're saying it's working great now.
Whatever,
so-
mustache. That's what Mark Cooper
Don't
just
call me
said.
mustache.
Okay, mustache.
No.
Impractical jokers.
With Benoit and Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah.
you remember the Radicals? When I touched last week on the Radicals.
Oh, yeah.
I would have loved for Perry Saturn to have stuck around in the company because
Yeah.
I thought that he was extremely
He was
gifted
good.
too.
He was. I don't know who he pissed off that he got that moppy gimmick.
Well, he got moppy, and then shortly afterwards he had a stroke or something like that, and then
Really?
and then
I didn't know that.
And then he tried to stop a mugging and got shot.
He stopped. He did stop
Yeah.
it, but he got shot in the process.
Right.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, and
Yeah,
that
I think he was out. He was out like jogging or running or something,
Yeah.
and he heard this woman screaming, and these guys were trying to mug him, and he ran over. He was a former Army Ranger.
right.
A
A lot of
positive.
people don't know that.
A positive fact about Perry Saturn is he used to be a tag team with Terrorizing, aka Triple H, back in the indie scene.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering, maybe, Triple H, maybe he was one of the reasons for Perry Saturn to come on over with the other guys. Who knows?
That's. a
I don't know. I'm
possibility.
just speculating.
But yeah, when we talk about guys that pass, I mean, there's so many of them. They just Owen Hart, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
how big could he have gotten had
I-
he not,
I think Owen
and,
Hart
Eddie
would have.
Guerrero.
I think
you know,
Owen Hart
Benoit.
would have. I think Owen Hart would have been world champion by now.
Oh, yeah, at least
within.
several times over.
Yeah, but
You know-
before the whole thing happened. But I
Right.
think he would have. had a
Another
career
guy,
full-fledged.
just going back to my WCW dad, another guy who I thought he was an amazing wrestler. They called him the innovator of offense. Was Canyon.
Oh yeah.
Who better?
Chris Canyon. Man.
Who better than
I mean,
Kenyon?
he was. It seemed like every week you watched him, he'd come up with some kind of new move that just was awesome.
I used to crack
Yeah.
up when
And
he.
it was such a shame that
When-
what
what
he
happened?
did with him, but God man,
I used to
he
get.
was
a
good.
kick
I remember
out-
him as with Wrath. Remember Wrath
Oh
and Mortis,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wrath and Mortis.
the guy who played Adam Bomb. I can't remember his real name, but
Yeah.
Was it Brian Adams?
no, Brian Adams. Brian Adams was
Was
with
Crush.
that guy. Was
He played
he was
Crush.
Crush.
He was crushing WWF.
And then he was also with Chronic. It
Yeah.
was Brian
He was on the
Adams.
tag team.
And the
Chronic.
guy who was Wrath, and he also played Atom Bomb
Atom Bomb.
in
Okay.
back in the old WWF.
One thing I enjoyed with Canyon, because he was kind of comical when he came to the WWF, in the invasion angle. I thought it was funny. He had a shirt that said MVP of Invasion.
Yeah.
Of the Invasion pay-per-view. He was the MVP. Out of all the stars they had, he was the MVP.
Remember MVP?
Yeah.
Montel Vontavious Porter.
Oh, that was a good segue.
And he
I
was
liked it.
he was tag team champions with Matt
Hardy
for a while.
And then they had a great rivalry.
yeah, they did.
I was at WrestleMania
Talking
24.
about these old WCW guys too. Another guy I love, he used to crack me up when you talk about guys that made you laugh. Was funny. Was Ernest the Cat Miller?
Oh, the cat.
Yeah.
Dude, he good at dancing. He was,
Yeah,
I
man.
remember watching one episode, right? And he'll tell him, "Lock the doors. I'm whooping everybody."
Was him and
Somebody call my mama.
was him and Disco Inferno a tag team or enemies? What were they?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Because that would have been a great gimmick, both of them different
Right.
style of dancing, but
Right.
right on.
Or Disco Inferno versus Fandango. And a dance.
Speaking of Fandango,
yeah.
have you seen Fandango in NXT now?
I saw
He
it.
is got a different look. Not the
So does Tyler
flamboyant-y,
Breeze.
Did they break them up?
No,
they're
they're
back
still
together
good.
now.
But Fandango come out, in a tank top, jeans, boots, looking like, not looking like Fandango,
No, not flashy at all.
not flashy, just straight legit, out there kicking ass.
Well, and real quick, since we're talking about NXT, by the way, if you guys haven't heard, Wednesdays they're looking to put that on Fox Network
Right.
to
right.
compete with the
compete
new
against
AEW show. And it's going to have NXT. NXT is going to be having top roster guys rumored to be on the show's roster for ratings. So I think NXT is going to be even bigger. I mean, NXT's doing fine on its own right now, but
No, once they get a TV
Right.
deal.
oh man, it's going to
Yeah.
be good. NXT is awesome, and because it's mainly run by Triple H, who is awesome.
Right.
But I mean, let's be real.
Well, going back to the whole Kevin Owens thing, I'm thinking that maybe this whole Kevin Owens thing is because of Eric Bischoff finally taking over.
Who's Frank Santino?
Frank Satino says, I wrestled for many years but had to stop because I was hurting all of them. Austin, Undertaker, Triple H.
Okay, so
Iron
that
Man.
sounds like a name my father made on YouTube, Frank Santino. Yes, you would, Dad. You would hurt them all. Frankie the Collar, laying the elbow. I like it. Let's do it.
Wasn't he a tag team partner with Bruno Sammartino?
Bruno Sammartino. That's
The great Malenko.
The great Malenko. Who was another big? Killer Kowalski was another big one back then.
Yep.
Gorilla Monsoon. That's right, man. Those are my dad's guys
Superstar
right there.
Billy Graham.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Doink the Clown.
What about the old Dusty Rhodes? America.
The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Oh, the Boogie Woogie Man! He played him the other day.
The Boogie Woogie Man versus the Boogie Man.
Oh, yeah. I'm the Boogie Man, and I'm gonna get you. That should have been a theme song. That was trippy, dude.
Yeah.
That was. You see him crawling out with the clock in his mouth, and then he's eating worms and then spitting.
There's a match. Boogeyman versus The Fiend.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
man.
That's
That
era versus era, dude. You're not supposed to talk about that shit yet. That will be a segment, though, one day.
Yes.
Era versus era.
We
That,
will
Bill
bring
just
that up.
set a good one. I'm a little jealous right now.
Well, he set us up for next week, man.
He did.
Our time is running out. We've
Yes,
got
it
5
is.
minutes
Wow.
left, so,
Wow.
Oh, that went quick.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, man. All
It
the
did.
technical difficulties.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you want Stone Cold, what?
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Don't be a Joey.
Don't be a Joey. Don't
be
tell
a
him, Mark.
Don't pull a Joey.
Don't be a Joey.
And moving on.
All right. So by the time you guys already know by now that we are on Thursdays from 9 to 10 p.m.
Yep.
don't miss us next week. We're going to have a great show next week. And keep tuning in because we are definitely going to have more and more celebrity call-ins. We're going to have celebrity interviews. This is not just your average run-of-the-mill podcast. We are working very hard behind the scenes to bring you quality material every single week.
Yes.
So with his technical difficulties and stuff, this guy...
all jokes aside, though, Brad does an amazing job to make this all come together. So we do appreciate what you do, man.
Right
on. And again, for all of you, I know, like we've said before, go to the 321 Screw Podcast or YouTube channel. Like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe,
hit that notification bell.
But also go to Facebook and go to Beyond the Squared Circle
and join.
Absolutely. We would love
Beyond the Squared Circle shirt will be coming soon as well, too.
Yes.
Yes, it will.
And before we sign off, I want to go ahead and give a real quick shout out to Hype Pro Wrestling again. Last week we plugged them. David Milan was kind. He's going to be a guest sometime in the future. But I want to go ahead and plug him again. Live September 14th at Ace Cafe, Orlando, Florida. Watch as Zach Monstar faces off against the son of Misery, Alex Misery. Triple Threat Turmoil Treehouse Lee versus Mikey Spandex versus Remy. And special tag team matches the past versus present, the Headbangers versus the Brothers. And so much more. Saturday, September 14th at Ace Cafe, presented by Hype Pro Wrestling and Street Elegance.
And I want to comment too, talking about the local indie circuits here. ARW, Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, Alex Red.
Yep.
Just before the show, I was looking on Facebook and I saw where he had posted a comment stating something about the biggest ARW signing in history. Huge, the new face of Extreme, everything. He's going to announce who this new signing was at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I have a feeling that we may be commenting something about that next week's show.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, we did start a couple minutes late, and for that, we're sorry. We had some other issues, not on the technical side. But we'll go ahead and let it run over for a couple minutes.
Okay.
We've got 2 minutes left. Yeah, I figured we'll go until 10:05.
Again, I want to give a shout out to everyone who's watching right now.
Yeah, thanks,
everyone
guys.
Who's
Thank you very much.
If we didn't see you get to your comment and acknowledge you by name personally, just know that we thank all of you. I know my friends and people that are watching for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Philip.
And Tangela just said, hey, Uncle Bill from Levi's. So you want to go ahead and give a shout out to your nephew, man?
What's up, Levi? Your Uncle Bill's on YouTube.
On the line.
On the line.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
So if you guys like us, you must like us a lot.
I like it a lot.
I do. Oh,
like a glove.
And just on a side note, it has nothing to do with wrestling. I want to say congrats to my nephew, Zach, today, who took his driving test and passed, and he is officially a licensed driver.
All right.
Good job, buddy.
Congratulations.
Good job, guy, man.
Yep.
Good job.
I know it had a lot to do with my expert tutelage that I gave him while doing a little
Zach, I am so sorry.
practicing driving on Monday. I'm sure
And
that was a lot of knowledge for me. I'm sure.
And that's whenever we were talking on the phone while he was driving.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep. Oh, to give him training.
Yes.
I got you.
Well, I let him use my car to take his test in, so he needed to practice driving it.
You should have let him have the phone so he could text and drive.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like a true driver.
Yes.
Kids do not text while you're driving. That is a horrible idea.
That is horrible.
State of Florida, they'll pull you over now.
Stay in school.
And I'm just going to go ahead and respond to everybody here. Everybody that's saying that you love the show, we love each and every one of you. We would
Except for that one.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah, the creepy guy that's watching, in the dark and with no.
Talking about you, mustache.
You gotta do the Like Hogan, brother. Then then you just, what you gonna do, brother? When all my Hulkamaniacs run wild on you,
So, anyways, everybody that loves
Tune in next week live on the air. I beat the shit out of Joey.
Don't be a Joey.
it's gonna be a Hugh. Don't be a Joey.
Don't be a Joey.
Be a big shot.
Anyways, so everybody that says that you love us, we love you back. Make sure to tell at least 10 of your friends about our show.
Yes,
so we can
so that they can tell their friends.
Exactly.
Yep.
We want more and more of you guys.
And so on.
And so on. And so on.
So the more of you that we can have on here, the more that we can have the stickers, the shirts. We could get stuff for you guys out there.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
Man, I'm
We got stuff coming up. I know one thing we're going to have is some 3-2-1 screw dog tags.
Yeah.
So I'll have those here soon. So if you guys want to get one,
so
keep an eye out.
Yeah,
we got a lot of big stuff in the future.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. I'm
We
excited.
plan on
I'm
becoming-
really excited.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hope these guys are on board, but we all plan on becoming world famous. I mean, I'm hoping next week, unless his people throw a wrench into the works, Bruce Willis in the studio.
Follow it up.
Unless his people say no, then
Then we're gonna go for Sylvester Stallone.
it's just gonna be us.
There you go, brother. Hey, Adrian.
All right.
But wait, before, don't forget to hit that little red thing that says subscribe. White letters there. Yep, red all around it. Be sure you
right
click.
there.
Here, I'll NWO it. There you go, right over there.
Right there.
Go ahead and do that.
And then on the opposite side, that white notification bell.
That little bell.
There you go. And hit a thumbs up.
So,
Sorry, Brad.
Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna sign off until next week. Thank you.